think that was last one. Yeah. And that character, like metal was like shooting out of her arms and stuff, so it's very painful for her anyway, and for my vocal cords. But it was only fair. Yes. Is what? I'm sorry.
What did you say? Is voice acting frustrating?
Is voice acting frustrating? I love my job very, very much. The only time that it's frustrating, and it's not necessarily voice acting, it's acting in general, it's not reliable work. I mean, sometimes there'll be shows where there's a lot of characters of my type, and then sometimes we'll get shows where it's like Toriko, where it's kind of like a male-driven show, and then sometimes it's all older characters, and you're lucky if you get to come in for a small character. And if you are recording once a month, and that's your only job is working as an actor and a voice actor, and you go in to record once a month for 1 or 2 hours, that's not enough money to live on. But if you're auditioning all the time for on-camera stuff, sometimes they'll be like, oh, it's great, we're looking for your type, and you'll be working all the time, and then 2 months later you don't even get an audition. So that's the only thing that's frustrating, is like there are months where I'm like, okay, cool, living is a little bit easier, and then there are months where I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? Like, I can't even, and you can't get like a reliable everyday job, because if you have to go to an audition or you have to record and you tell them like, hey, sorry, I can't come into work today, I know there's a lot of people depending on me, but I'm going to go record a cartoon. It kind of doesn't sound very good. I mean, they don't understand that's what I'd rather be doing, but if other people like have to have their lives saved, and I'm a nurse, and I'm like, I'm not gonna come help you today. I'm actually making cartoons. This person's like bleeding out of their arm. They're like, really?
Oh, that's
so that's the only thing that's a little frustrating, is the reliability of our career and such. Yes.
How is it like working with a character like Lichtenstein? She's so quiet.
Yes, she's so quiet, and she's super sweet. I had a really fun time with that one, just because most of the time I play characters that like to lash out at people sometimes, and she never does that. It's just very, very relaxing and very calm, and she loves to make things, which I think is cool. Do I relate to her in any way? Yeah, the fact that she gives people stuff a lot, I do that too. I mean, like, I've never given my brother, like, lacy, frilly pajamas before, but I've given, like, my fiance and actually my parents and my brother, I'll just, like, give them, like, a random, like, the other day I was, like, told my fiance, I was like, I know you love M&M's, so here's 8 little M&M minis. I saw him at Target, and I was like, he needs M&M's. He was like, thank you. Why? I was like, I don't know. I just, like, felt compelled. And I found, like, a keychain for something that I sent to my brother, because I was in LA at the time. He was like, thanks for the keychain. Why'd you send it to me? I was like, I don't know. I just felt compelled to do this. He was like, okay, well, can you feel compelled to, like, save your money? I was like, I just love to give people stuff. Can you just, like, feel the joy in my present? Like, didn't you feel the love in that keychain? And he's like, yeah, thank you. So, I don't know. I think it's that I might have a mild shopping addiction. I think that might be it. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes?
You mentioned the pop culture for the American audience. Is it like completely different? Do you know some Japanese stuff that wouldn't even fly here? Like nobody would understand it?
There's some stuff about like I don't know if it's that we completely changed it, but the way that they address people a lot of times, we don't address people like that. So we couldn't add like charm and things like that at the end of every word, because it just, I mean, like for a mainstream audience, not like anime fans, which is what they wanted to do with Sergeant Frog. They wanted to try to make it more open and receptive for a mainstream audience, to try to break mainstream into anime and like expand the fan base a little bit. So we were like, well, this is going to be the show that's going to be more of like a bridge, more for the mainstream rather than just to be for the fans. And then the fans ended up liking it. Some people hate it, but I think that's just the way this.
I see some animes, like, I always find it funny, they to explain the Tatsu, they always like, oh, this is one of the Japanese teams that use in winter.
Yeah.
I it's funny how they have to like, add that in there.
Yep. A lot of exposition so that people understand. And then, of course, there'll be fans that like know it already. And they're like, why do they have to explain it? I'm like, well, because not everybody is so wise and well-versed in the culture that you are. Which is awesome for you, but you should watch it and be like, I'm brilliant. And then like let it go with that. Like don't be mad that we put it in there. Look at it as like, I'm smarter than 80% of the population. It's a compliment to you. Just know that everybody else is less intelligent and well-versed with Japanese culture. Oh, I enjoy it as well. And I learn things new every day, which is cool. So, any other? Yes.
Yes. How was it working on Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball movie, I think it was called Curse?
Yeah.
I can't remember because...
That was so fast. I think they called me in the day before and they said, can you come in tomorrow? And I was like, sure. And I recorded everything in a day. And a lot of people said, yeah, it felt like that dubbing process was done very quickly. And I think...
Here it is. Curse of the Bloody Rubies. I'm on your Wikipedia page.
I think they recorded the entire show in something like 3 weeks, which is insane. So there really wasn't a lot of time to waste for anything. So that was a really fast process. It was fun. She was spunky beyond all belief. I like those people. Any other questions? Yes.
Oh. Me?
Have you ever been like walking around and like someone recognized you for your voice acting parts?
Someone recognized my keychain because I have a picture of Lucy on it. Oh no, this one was more uncomfortable. I was in an anime shop because a show had just come out and I couldn't talk about it, but I loved the show, so I wanted to buy like a figurine or something. And somebody at Funimation was like, well, at this anime shop they have T-shirts and they have a bunch of other stuff. Just like, don't let anybody know who you are, because if they find out that you work for us, then they're going to put up the cast lists online and say, well, Cherami bought like so many of these, I bet she's playing this character. And I was like, whatever, I'll be fine. So I went in there. Well, my ringtone was made by an engineer at Funimation, and it's like, it sings for my ringtone, baby Cherami, pick up your phone. So my mom called me while I was in this anime store, and there's like 5 people at the counter, and I had like a T-shirt and a couple other things like laid out on the table, and there were a bunch of people talking, and there was a convention coming up, so they were talking about the convention, and then all of a sudden my phone rings, and somebody was like, wait, Cherami? Like Cherami Leigh Cherami? And I was like, I was like, this is exactly what they told me not to let happen. I'm going to be in so much trouble when I go to work tomorrow. And I was like, so I just like took my phone and took it outside. And this person was like, where'd that come from? And I was like by that time I was like in the car. And the guy like runs out and he's like, did you want your stuff? I was like, no. No, I'm like driving away. I'm like, the guy's like, hey, there's like backwards of someone stealing something. He's like, do you want? I was like, I didn't pay for it. Otherwise, I would have like gone back and like fought to get that stuff back. But it was like the most like paranoid situation of my life. I was like, I was sold out by my ringtone. And it's not like that's the first time that's happened, because when I was taking a test in college, everything's like dead silent and my phone starts ringing. Baby Cherami, pick up your phone. And I'm like sitting there. And you know when everybody's phone rings or anything, everybody like looks around like they're like, who's going to get busted this time? Well, I thought like I'm going to do the same thing. I was like, guys, come on. Keeping your phone on. And the teacher was like, Cherami, there's no one else named Cherami in this class. And I was like, so weird. Who set me up? My phone doesn't have my name. Yeah, I'm going to turn it off.
Oh,
so bad. You'd think I'd get rid of the ringtone, but I really like it. What? Yeah. It's probably him. It's probably he set it up. But it was a guy named Justin Houston who made it for me. Probably at Christopher Sabat's urging. So, yeah. Yes?
What's it like to work on shows like Black Blood Brothers that aren't as famous as other shows like Fairy Tale?
I liked doing Black Blood Brothers a lot. That was the first time I actually got to play a kid. So that was really, really cool. And I like working on any and all shows, whatever I get to work on, because work is work and it's an opportunity to play a character and, you know, an opportunity to not have to not pay a bill, which is very stressful, like you were saying, frustrating things. But I mean, I don't care about the size of the show. Definitely it is nicer if it's a larger show just because it's guaranteed work and we can really get used to playing that character, because sometimes it's frustrating when a show's like 6 to 12 episodes and it's so good and you really love your character, and as soon as you start to like delve into the story's over and you're like, is there a second season? No, that was it? It was so good. Why didn't they want to do more? The writer retired. Why would he do that? He's talented. Why would he retire? Cherami, he was 90. Okay. I think he still had one more season in him. This was good stuff.
Oh boy.
So, I don't know.
21 Jump Street.
Do what?
Just call him up.
You seen it?
Yeah. If only I had that sort of power. I would call him up and be like, hey, do you want to take me and my mom to Japan? Because we think a vacation sounds great. I'll record with you while we're there. It wouldn't work out very well. Yeah. No, I don't think that would go over well at all. I wish. Any other questions? Yeah.
Yeah, is there any place ringtone?
Oh, yeah. This infamous ringtone. It would help if the phone's not on silent, wouldn't it?
Story of my life.
Yeah, always.
You say, what the deuce?
And it does that again and again and again on a loop. So if the first time somebody's like, was that Cherami? It's like, baby, yeah, it is. Okay, great. I have all my guy friends think it's really uncomfortable. They're like hanging out with me. They're like, why is a man in your purse serenading you? I'm like, just let it go. It's just because you're jealous a man in your pocket is not serenading you. That could be awkward. So, yes. Any other questions? Yes?
What's your favorite anime and why?
Favorite animes are so hard because it's like, which show that you've worked on do you like better than all the others? I don't know, because they're all very different, and I think it's interesting that I work on different animes at different times, and it never fails that there's one day where a certain line I say or someone else says, I'm like, that was exactly what I needed to hear at this time in my life. That's what I love about anime. It's so deep underneath like a surface of fun, so if you just like sit there for a while and you're like, that's really intelligent. And then the guy says something stupid right after and like counteracts it. But it's awesome. I don't know, some of my favorite shows are Ghost Hunt. I love Shauna. I love Fairy Tale. I love Black Butler. Bamboo Blade is really, really fun. I love my character in Strike Witches. The show's really fun, but I really love the character. And I'm trying to think if there's any other show off the top of my head that I could think of. I mean, there's so many. Sergeant Frog, yeah, that was a fun one. And then there's a show that I just worked on that was like such a cute show. Sasami Magical Girls Club was a really cute show. And the other show that I worked on was Railgun, which is like the sequel or continuation of Index, which is such a cute, girly show. And, oh, that was a hilarious show. I feel like this should be a required watching for all, like, teenage guys so that they understand that, like, sometimes girls like this are nuts. But we got to HK. They told me about the premise of that show, and I was like, no, I do not. Like, the premise was, like, painted, the picture was painted as this is a high school girl who is going to make it her